Hello and a very good evening to our viewers. Welcome to ELITETV. You're watching Open Debate in English. I'm Chongtham Amrita, and today we're going to be debating and discussing on the topic, the ruling NDA bans backwards in Parliament. The monsoon session of the Parliament had begun on the 21st of July last week, but for the full week since its commencement, it has been embroiled with chaos and adjournment, and no particular functions have not been able to be conducted. The opposition demands discussion on matters of national security importance and also regarding the Operation Syindur, the Pahalgam terrorist attack, and also regarding the voter list discrepancy with the SIR in the Bihar elections. But the NDA has been avoiding discussing on that for the past week. And it is also important to note that by avoiding the discussions and by adjourning the Parliament for the full week, till now the operational losses has been incurred is about 23 crores rupees. So that is really a huge amount. So by avoiding the discussions and debating on the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha in the Parliament, that is truly incurring a lot of losses. But today, the ruling NDA seems to bend backwards by agreeing to debate and discuss on the topics of the Operation Syindur and the Pahalgam terrorist attack. A lot of questions were asked by the opposition, but the defense minister answered in such a way where the operation that was carried out was flawless and many other things. And he also compared the terrorist attack to the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks, which we want to question if it was irrelevant or not. And also there is the question of the Manipur PR extension bill as well that needs to be discussed. So there is, and also recently, even on the first day of the commencement of this Parliament, the Vice President, who presides as the chairman in the Rajya Sabha, has also resigned. So the big question here is, will this monsoon parliament will be successful? And more importantly, why was the NDA not agreeing to discuss on the issues that was brought up by the opposition, and what led to the NDA and the ruling party to finally say yes to the discussion? So we will debate and discuss on that particular topic. But before that, let us welcome and introduce our panelists for tonight. Our first speaker for tonight is Oja and Satyajeet, Bureau Chief, UNI. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
Thank you, Amrita. Thank you.
Thank you for joining. Our second speaker for tonight is Oja Dr. Naorem Bobo, Media Spokesperson for DMCC. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
Thank you, Amrita. Thank you.
Thank you, Oja. Thank you very much for joining. And our third speaker, who is joining us from Taiwan, is Oja Dr. Shantikumar, Professor of English from Hongkuo, Delin University. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
Thank you, Amrita, for having me.
Thank you so much for joining. Oja, Satyajeet, let's start with you first of all. Oja, regarding the Operation Syindur and the Pahalgam attack, there have been a lot of questions, even not just from the opposition, but from the citizens in general, because when one country is in armed conflict against another country, the citizens desperately want to know the wins and the losses, and what was the results of that, who attacked who, what was destroyed, and did we incur any sort of losses? Well, there have been a lot of reports where Indian fighter jets have been shot down, which have not been confirmed from the side of the Indian military so far. So the discussion that was supposed to be held, that was supposed to be discussed, was regarding all of these questions, though the defense minister kind of deflected from the topic and he continued to speak on other issues that was related to the Mumbai terror attacks as well. So Oja Satyajeet, my first question to you is that why was the NDA deflecting away from this particular discussion for a whole week, and what led to them to finally say yes to this discussion?
Thank you, Amrita, for having me here. I think in a healthy democracy, and if you want democracy to be thriving, I think we need a proper discussion. In a parliamentary democracy, I think Parliament is the ultimate forum for accountability. In India, we had lots of good orators, and in the entire history of human civilization, we have seen wonderful speakers, orators who changed government policy and who influenced government policy. And I feel that proper discussion should be done, because it is the duty of the representatives to discuss and inform the people of exactly what is going on, because people want to know the human and material cost of the conflict. Because this is not a time when everything was done in secrecy. And if we look at the trends in Russia, China, they don't tell all the secrecy because they are under military rule. Largely, people are they are under control by dictators also. But India is a democratic country, as we claim, and we are aspiring to be one of the biggest economy in the entire world. So I think India should be liberal enough. The Indian system should be liberal enough to discuss such things. And I will come to some example letters. And I think people also want to know if the strategic objectives and whether they were achieved or not. And we want to know, people also want to know the diplomatic follow-up, the international reactions, military assessments. There are so many aspects. And people also want to know the post-conflict plans, because we want to know what precautionary measures will be taken up so that such actions do not repeat again. These are very important issues, and the reasons why the government must be deflecting or must be shying away from discussing the issue must be because there must be lots of sensitive intelligent information which cannot be shared to the masses, and so it cannot keep on saying that everything is secret. We cannot say everything. This can be legitimate in the short term, but indefinite delays raise suspicion. Once the conflict has stabilized or concluded, the argument for secrecy weakens considerably. And in India, we see a sort of narrative management because we have, since the arrival of internet, and people are influenced by short videos in various social media platforms. I think information is a weapon in the modern era. So I think government may want to tightly control the narrative. That is one issue. And the other issue is people, they cannot be tightly controlled because humans, human minds, they can reach Mars, any planet, any part of the galaxy within a fraction of seconds. So human minds cannot be controlled forever. So this is what the ruling narrative, ruling system should understand also. And I think the government must be thinking that there should be some time should be given to the administration to keep the emotions down, and it can craft a more favorable version of events also, because since it has more times, if it takes more times, then it can also avoid being caught by difficult questions before elections, because elections are coming up in 4 states and 1 union territory next year, and in Bihar, lots of problems are coming up. And so I think the government of India, that is the ruling dispensation, they should allow the representatives to speak on the issues the people want to discuss. And if you take the example of Kargil war, because India has seen lots of war in 1971 war, and before that 1962 also, Indira Gandhi in 1971 took the oppositions into confidence. She informed all the opposition leaders about the developments, about the things that the government was planning, and even in the House of the Parliament, the liberation of Bangladesh was informed in Parliament also. And in slight contrast, if you see the present development, recent cross-border strikes and border skirmishes, they saw limited, highly curated discussions, often under heavy media management, and limited floor debate. The limited floor debate is the root causes of all crises in India. Because as you asked in the question, we spend about 2.5 lakhs every minute, to manage the house. So I think, for example, if you look at the way our parliamentarians are discussing, we cannot condemn them, or we cannot say anything against them, because they are protected by a system. And if we say anything against them, then one can take action under a breach of privilege, because the Constitution provides them immunity from discussion and from being held responsible by other parties. So I think by respecting that the privileges and rights our members of parliament have, I would deal in some issues which I can deal at my personal level as a citizen of this country. As a citizen of this country, we want all our parliamentarians, whether they are in the ruling group or in the opposition, to come up and to do what the people want. People, they do not want to simply say that what your ancestors did and what your forefathers did was this and this. We want a proper roadmap. We want a proper action plan. We want an action taken report of every detailed discussions of every issue in Parliament. If those cannot be disclosed under the Official Secrets Act, those are certain issues, and nobody would force the government to reveal, to divulge the issues which will be, which can be used by foreign countries or by enemies. That we do not want the government to divulge. But whatever can be divulged should be divulged. Right. And if you take the example of Roman empires, those days we are discussing about, say, in the BCs. In those days, the emperor was in absolute command. But in those days, even the Roman emperors, they used to do the senators, and they requested them to speak in their favor, to speak what is good. So even they were trained to speak to influence the people. So we see that 2,000 years ago, democracy was thriving. People wanted to know what the emperors and what the kings and what the government are doing. So I think we have come down a long phase in history, and we are in the 21st century, where people, they have free mind, they can do whatever they want. So I think the level of discussions which we wanted our parliamentarians to do, it is not up to what people are expecting. And I do not want to use very defamatory words, but people are not happy with the way our parliamentarians are speaking. We hope one day they will be able to discuss what we really need and what they want to do for the people. Thank you, Amrita.
Yes, indeed. That is also one of the hopes and prayers from the people, especially regarding this monsoon parliament, which will span almost a month. And we truly hope that real discussions that benefit the public, a lot of questions that the people have, need to be answered, also including the Manipur crisis and the PR extension. And hopefully that the PR extension debate would truly be beneficial for the public. And now, moving on with this debate, Oja Bobo, my question to you is that regarding the Operation Syindur, which was the main topic of discussion today in the Parliament, the attack was carried out on the 22nd of April, and the operation was launched at midnight of May 6th, which lasted for about 4 days roughly, and then it was abruptly halted on the 10th of May when an external party, let's say the United States, brokered a ceasefire, and to which India also agreed to that. My question to you is that, did India win all of its objective in this particular operation by destroying some of those terror camps that the Indian military briefed to the media? What if the Indian military even crossed even more and tried to win some more by not just by destroying the terrorist camps, but by even trying to track down those 5 terrorists who carried out the attacks and capturing them? Because till now, even after 3 months, I think they are still at large. They are not caught still now. So why was the ceasefire agreed upon by the by India? What do you think, Oja?
Yes, Amrita, good evening, and good evening to my 2 respected panelists. Well, Amrita, see, I've during the daytime also I watched the heated argument between this opposition and the ruling parties regarding the Operation Syindur. But see, first of all, we have to know that the 2 nations, the Pakistan and India, which is also a nuclear powered countries
Okay.
in this Southeast Asian countries, two big nation which has already nuclear power. So regarding the Operation Syindur, India has strike against those terrorists who has committed a very heinous crime to these Pahalgam attacks. But on answering the question of that Donald Trump has mediated and asked to do the ceasefire between India and Pakistan, though that's maybe the reason that the two armed nuclear nation, which if they are in a war, or see in other views that nuclear power which is in Pakistan, that may be in the wrong hand of like the terrorists, those who are active in Pakistan. So it may be the reason that that Donald Trump has asked both the nation to come to peace talks or like a ceasefire. But in another hand, why India has accepted the ceasefire? Has Indian military power has done the work which has to be done, or educated the terrorists who have been attacking the Indian inside the Indian territory, and as well as killing the civilians, unarmed civilians? So the big question is that the argument which is going on in parliamentary session today, monsoon session, that the opposition party has already asked that question itself. But there may be some few, as Oja is also or they stated that some secret question or some secret answers which may not be put in a parliamentary session, that may be due to the intelligence or national security issues, like it may be the national issues that may bring a very big controversy over to this international level. So we cannot comment on exactly what happened and what was going on between these two negotiating process during that these 4 days. But India has struck it, that is a reality. And one more thing we should know that is that the whole nation, the whole state of India stand together and united together against the terrorist action that was against the civilian of this our nation, our country. But coming to this point, I'd like to bring this to the context of Manipur. If we come to Manipur context, see how well and how united the oppositions and all the ruling parties and all the political parties and all together, they are united to fight against those terrorists who cross across the Indian soil and attack the civilians. But in Manipur, still today, since May 3rd, 2023, why are our big leaders, why are our so-called legislative members, why are our respective leaders who are supposed to unite and give the common voice of the people of Manipur, still not united and still not sitting together till today to find out the solution? Yes, we should learn from this Pahalgam attack. On the other hand, we should learn from them also. I'd like to appeal to them also. They should learn that how they have united to bring a solution, or to bring even after the parliament today itself, they are having a heated argument in the parliament itself. The opposition and the ruling party, they are having a very heated argument. That's okay, fine. That's it's a democracy country. We should come into the parliament and we should discuss the pros and cons of the Operation Syindur. But we should remember that they are united to fight against the terrorists. Why cannot we united in Manipur and fight against those illegal immigrants, those illegal narco-terrorists, those militants, those terrorists who are so armed with sophisticated weapons, who are taking the life of more than 260, and who are devastating the innocent people's house, and IDP victims who are more than 60,000 plus, scattered around the state in Manipur. It's not only in this Meitei-centric or the Kuki-centric. So both the sides have, in a very inhuman way, that have been tortured by those terrorists. In the Kuki Chin itself, that how many people they are keeping under their point of the gun to talk for them, to do what, to dictate what they do, what they wanted. So the main focus is that even if the Pahalgam attack is discussed in the parliament, we the people of Manipur, we the innocent people of Manipur, the peace-loving people of Manipur, of all citizens, have been demanding for the last more than almost a half year that about the free movement regime, about this abrogation of SU, about this IDP victims who are supposed to return to their native lands. But till today, this has not been discussed seriously in the parliament. This has not been brought up in the form of democracy, in the voice of parliament. So I would like to appeal to all the responsible citizens through this media channel, that to all the state of India and to all these MPs of those, irrespective of their ideology of politics, who are different part of in the country, to also discuss of this very serious matter of Manipur. And if Manipur is still today burning, that means that India is also burning. We should give this clear message to those MPs who are sitting in the parliament, those 300, 400, 500 plus MPs in every issues. But they should also discuss about Manipur and bring a final peaceful solution for Manipur and the people of Manipur and the voice of Manipur. Thank you, Amrita.
Thank you indeed, Oja. I think, yes, it is very crucial to discuss the Manipur issue, in not just discuss and answer questions, but to truly bring out a roadmap that will be, we truly hope that in this monsoon session that there was a roadmap or a plan that could be discussed regarding the Manipur issue. But well, we'll have to wait and watch. But I think I agree with you, Oja Bobo, that all the assemblymen in Manipur really need to come together in such a time, which we will have to wait and watch. Now, coming back to this topic, I would like to raise another question that is also one of the big questions that the opposition have been raising since the Pahalgam terror attack and the Operation Syindur. I'll raise this question to Shantikumar, that one of the big key questions that the oppositions have been raising is regarding the shooting down of the fighter jets by Pakistan, which have not been denied nor confirmed by the Indian military. But surprisingly, the chief of the defense staff, General Anil Chauhan, when he went to Singapore for an interview, he revealed that in his interview and in his word that we lost some fighter jets. The question is, why didn't he share that information within the country to his own countrymen, but why did he give away that particular line by going away to another country like in Singapore and giving that to another international media house? What do you think that this particular question will be answered or discussed in this particular monsoon session as well? What are your thoughts, Oja?
A very good evening to my two panelists, Amrita, and all the viewers around the world. Amrita, that's a good question. You know, actually, there are many experts in the field of defense, in the field of war, in the fields of, military, but those experts inside India were not allowed to tell out the truth.
Okay.
When I was talking about shooting down 6, fighter jets, by Pakistan Air Force, and I was scolded, I was blamed, scolded, and accused of being giving misinformation to people, but it turned out to be later. It turned out to be correct. All the international medias, including Pakistan media, Chinese media, Taiwan media, and abroad, Reuters and the CNN, all these international medias were actually talking about that. It came out.
Right.
The truth came out. But so far we know, out of, Pakistan claimed, 7 fighter jets were shot down, but I think at least 5 of them more confirmed, I think. But no one dares to talk against the government because this will defame the country's face. This will taint the country's face, especially the defense section. So there is one reason why, even though many of them knew they couldn't tell out, but one of them, like the Chief of Defense Staff, General Anil Chauhan, went to Singapore when he was invited to give the speech, and he admitted that certain fighter jets were shot down. He admitted, but he also couldn't tell the exact number because he had to keep it ambiguous. Cannot say clearly out. And so talking about this, when Rajnath, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh was talking about on this Operation Syindur, he was only talking about like 9 terrorist camps were neutralized, destroyed, and 100 tourists were neutralized and got killed. And then, but he never mentioned about the security lapses India had, during that time. How could the terrorists could infiltrate to India, to Pahalgam, with the tight security they had? And he never talked about that, and he also never talked about how many airplanes shot down, how many war weapons were destroyed during the 2 days conflict, 2 nights, 2 days conflict between India and Pakistan. And he didn't talk about that. But the opposition groups, they like to know the number, the truth, how many destroyed, but he just focused on, achievement. Our achievement is more important than talking about loss. We don't need to talk about loss. We just need to focus on how we successfully destroy and neutralize and kill those terrorists and like that. So, but the point is, as Ozar Satyajeet also mentioned, in a democratic setup, in a democratic country, people, not only the politicians, not only the political leaders, but masses, the people, the general people, the innocent people, normal people have the right to know the truth. What is the problem if they let people know the truth? Of course, they can keep some secret, but some big truth should be, told out. They cannot just keep secret, and then people will doubt more and more, and there will be conflict between. So that's how more and more conflict and distrust happen between the ruling and the opposition political leaders.
Right.
So your last part was, do you think in the parliament the truth will be told out? I don't think so, because the Defense Minister Rajnath has already given the briefing on Syindur operation, but he never talked about those, how many flights or how many jet flights were destroyed, how many war machines were destroyed. Like, for example, 400S, 400S Russian made, on ground to air missile launcher. So, Pakistan and the other media claim that one of this machine was also, destroyed by Pakistan side. And one thing I just like to mention here is, I think during the counter attack, I think India underestimate Pakistan's ability.
Right.
I think that was one big mistake for Indian defense.
Okay.
You know, India should never underestimate any surrounding country. It could be Pakistan, it could be Bangladesh, or it could be any, because especially when China is backing Pakistan, I think India should be more serious. India should be very careful to estimate the ability of the enemies, you know. So I think they underestimate too much. And then what happened? So suddenly in 2 days, why there was ceasefire? One reason is India lost, you know, those fighters jets.
Okay.
Lost, and if they continue, if India continues, there will be more destruction from the other side, because Pakistan won't just give up, because India already started attacking inside Pakistan, right? So Pakistan is not going to stop. And then what will happen? More destruction will happen in both sides. But one thing is, India should also recognize the presence of Chinese hands. Pakistan. And without China, yeah, things would be different. Yeah, but now time is different, and the China is backing up Pakistan. So India should be very careful, not just talking boldly and bravely, but in action, nothing, you know. And why India agreed to the ceasefire when Donald Trump mediated? One reason might be because India knew it won't be positive. It won't be positive in India's side either. So I think it was better for India to accept the mediation from Donald Trump's suggestion. And of course, it is good. Both countries stop. It's good for both countries. We don't like, you know, nuclear warheads, you know, drop in opposite countries and destruction happens in millions, you know, in crores. We don't like that happen. Actually, that was good. So I will keep this way, Amrita.
Thank you for your points, Shantikumar. We will get on that as well. And while staying on this topic, and I'd like to explore one more issue as well that I will raise to Satyajeet, that today in the Parliament, when the Defense Minister was giving the answers on the Operation Syindur, he also drew parallels to the 2008 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, and he also kept highlighting the failures of the Congress government of that time, during that time, which makes us think that the whole Operation Syindur was done as a political exercise rather than a military exercise. Because why, the number one thing is that why is the NDA dodging critical questions, and what was the need for drawing parallels with the 2008 attack? Is this ultimately a BJP versus a Congress exercise once more? Because this is regarding a national security issue. People have been killed, at least 26 people have been killed in that attack. Why is the NDA still trying to use that tragedy as another political exercise for the party? That is the question that I would like to raise to you, Ojao. What are your thoughts?
Amrita, I think national security is politics, but it must never be beyond accountability.
Okay.
As I said in the first round, we cannot reveal, the government cannot reveal everything, but it cannot shy away from discussing the issues by simply saying that these are national issues. And the other issue which the center or the ruling party normally say is that the bravery of our armed forces is unquestionable. Yes, it is true. Whether it's Operation Syindur or any other operations, they have done it with magnificent bravery, the professionalism. That we agree, it is a very professional force. We depend on them to protect our country. And the credit for operational success belongs first and foremost to them, and I think, and not to politicians. And I think, and their success should not be converted into party slogans, and their failures should not be converted into party slogans, and this should not be discussed in the public. These are the issues which people are raising now. And one other issue which is very important is, it is the job of the parliament and to ensure that such things do not happen again, because Parliament is the absolute authority, and it is the house, it is the representatives house, and it should take appropriate action that such actions do not come up again. And if these operations had clear military objectives and those were achieved, the government should present those facts in Parliament. I mean, it cannot just say that you had your failures and we had many achievements. The government cannot simply say that. And if the operation was conducted to serve the Indian interest, no one will oppose it. If they were protecting Indian soil, Indian people, then everybody will laud the army and laud the government also for doing what is good for the people. And I think by shying away from proper discussion, people they tend to think that the government is trying to to hold on some secrets which it doesn't want the people to do. If the mission was shrouded in secrecy, if losses are hidden, if results are exaggerated, then we are looking at something else entirely.
Okay.
I think, and we should not look at everything from a different perspective, because the government has to give, it is duty bound to answer what the oppositions who are questioning on behalf of the people. And I think, for example, when the defense minister was replying, he was referring to the Congress party for the 26/11 attack. But we should understand that the 26/11 was a national tragedy, and we should also learn from those mistakes. And I think after the 26/11 tragedy, NSG was formed.
Right.
Reformed, sorry. Then the coastal command was reconstituted, was strengthened, and then the government of India showed restraint and command, and they tried to change the entire political and military setup. For example, after the loss to China, we changed the military setup. We increased the number of army personnel. We increased our arsenals. We increased everything. Those are the issues which people want. Because if we keep on hiding or by saying that we cannot do, reveal anything, then the people will not be happy. So it should, build up. It should rectify the wrongs, as well as empower the structures with, the new weapons, machinery, strategies, and I think, and also we are now not in 2000 or in 1947. We are now sitting in 2025. And it has to be very clear to the present disposition that we have to discuss what happened yesterday, today, and what lies ahead for all Indians tomorrow. Those are the real issues. And I think one other issue is, if the government is also saying that if we keep on asking about the activities of the defense forces, then we chip away at the professionalism of the armed forces. That is also true. And every time we use the sacrifice of soldiers for campaign slogans, we undermine the very unity we claim to defend. Those are the issues. And I think our message should be strength with responsibility, then transparency without compromise, and democracy with dignity. Those are the issues which people are raising. For example, during the Kargil war, our soldiers, they said that they didn't have proper shoes because they had to climb in the mountains, and it was all snows, very cold areas. They needed special weapons, they needed special armories, they special training, even clothes also. That the government had to look after, to keep up the morals of our Jawans. That the government did. That is exactly what the people want to discuss. We are not discussing about a military strategy. I mean, how it was done, what are our losses. And the other issue is, if we keep on giving different statements, then people will also think that the government is hiding something. Whether we lost anything, or we incurred heavy losses, or we came to a ceasefire under influence from a third party, from a superpower. Those are certain issues which are not resolved, which people are not also aware also, because the government has not come clean on those issues. And I think what normally the government should do is, after such conflicts, they should come out with a white paper in the parliament. That is exactly what other civilized nations and other democratic nations do. They should come up with a white paper on what our failures and achievements were. Because there is nothing wrong in saying that we lost weapons or we lost aeroplanes or we lost soldiers. Because in war we are supposed to lose. We are supposed to lose. The people are supposed to die in wars. That's the tragedy of war. That is exactly what happened in Kargil. In Kargil war, 2 lieutenant generals from Manipur were involved. One of the lieutenant general, he captured 7 Pakistani prisoners. About 7 to 8 Manipuri soldiers died during Kargil war. Then about 2 were severely injured. About 1,000, I forgot the exact number, but about 2,000 personnel from Manipur, they were involved in the Kargil war. I mean, there is nothing wrong in saying that 7 or 8 persons died from Manipur because they have given their lives for the nation. Those are the issues which the government should understand also, because what people are trying and what the opposition is trying is not to corner the government on its failures. I think it wants the government to come out clean on what exactly what its policies are. And as you asked, when it says that my policy is this, rather than saying that we want this, we had our failures, it keeps on saying that during the 26/11 or other incidents, you had your failures. Those are not the issues which people want to discuss. Because government is a continuous process, whether it was Congress, whether it was BJP, Janata Dal, whatsoever, Manipur People's Party, whatever, government is government. It cannot say that one government is BJP, one is Congress. Government is government. They cannot differentiate government also. And I think the government, especially some of the very good orators we had seen in the previous discussions also, in today's discussions also, and it had to be postponed again and again. That is quite expensive, and we want all our parliamentarians to discuss what is good for the people. And the government, what I just remember what our defense minister said about action on terror. He repeatedly said this present government will not be soft on terror. And as the other 2 speakers said, and as a citizen living in this part of the country where we are seeing terror being imported or being ostracized or being separated from the foreign countries, the government is soft. I mean, we must have seen Myanmar militants coming to Manipur, organizing. Then they have the bigger economy than ours. They have 60,000 economies. All their leaders, they have converted our fertile lane into a lane of mafia, into a lane of drugs, into where people now, they have changed the entire demography of our state. And I think there's no more dangerous terror than drugs, illicit drug trafficking, terror. And I think why the government is soft on such people, we want to raise this question also. I hope other parliamentarians also raise such issues. And in 1 more minute, I will finish in 1 more minute.
Sure.
And during this parliament session, our MPs and all the MPs should also speak on Manipur.
Right.
They should speak about our economy. They should speak of how people are suffering. This happened in 2000. Started in 2023. BJP was ruling. BJP cannot say that Manipur crisis started during Congress time, during CPI time or MPP time. It started during BJP time. BJP was in the state, and it was a double-engine government. So I think the government, rather than giving statement on different perspective, should really start working to resolve the crisis in Manipur and bring peace in Manipur. And also during this short parliament session, they should issue on illegal immigration and other important issues also. Thank you, Abed.
Yes, indeed, Oja. I think we are all expecting to hear some of that in this upcoming few days, more weeks of the discussion in the Parliament. Moving on with this, Oja Bobo, my question to you is that regarding another issue that has been blocking the Parliament since its commencement last week, and that is regarding the special intense review of voter lists, and this is in relation with a removal of about 20% of migrant workers from the whole voter list, and this will also remove the voting rights of some of the migrant workers as well. And there's a lot of them, that is about 20% of the whole population, so this is actually a very large number, and this poses as a disadvantage to the INDIA alliances, and the opposition have been raising this issue as well in the Parliament, and because of that there have been adjournment and and there have been no any functions since last week. My question is that the voter list issue, I think it should be taken up with the Election Commission of India. We all know that the Bihar election is upcoming in just 4 months, about October and November, and this particular voter list, the final list, will be out on September 30th. So do you think that the opposition, despite raising key questions regarding the Operation Syindur and other issues, that this is fair to the proceedings of the houses of the Parliament to raise an issue that needs to be discussed with the Election Commission of India? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, Amrita, see, ECI is an independent and autonomous body which executive cannot interfere in. It's an autonomous and free body. It was established under the Article 324 of the Indian Constitution. So it is very powerful in the manner of this electoral roles. Key factors, key roles, key function of these ECIs are this monitoring of the electoral roll and conducting election and doing free and fair election of the state, of these councils, etc. So, and they should the main factor, or one of the main factor, key factor is also model code of conducts. So I'll not go this through briefly, but these are some of the key factors of the ECI. So if we see in the election regarding this coming election of Bihar and the some of this electoral roll which they have updated and they have conducted and, under a survey of ECI, well then it's very good if they are illegal immigrants or they are not part of this country, of the citizen or any other form, then they should not be allowed to vote. They should be almost, you have mentioned about 20%. It's a very large number. For example, if you say about this 2 crore population as a whole in Bihar, then it will be almost 40 lakhs. 40 lakhs or 20 lakhs of this electoral roll. So the 20% is very large. Yes, good indeed. If it is they are all illegal immigrants, or they are this free worker, for let's say from this like Bangladesh, let's say from the Nepal, let's say from other part of the countries, other part of the other countries. But if you come to Manipur, if you come to the context of Manipur, then it should be also applied in Manipur. Those who are indigenous or those who are illegal immigrants, those who are not from this 1951 this census which we are demanding, and those who are not the Manipuri, citizen of Manipuri. Not, let us not call it as Kuki or Naga or Meitei or any Meitei Pangal, but let us say that if they are not a Manipuri, so they should also be exempted from the electoral rolls, and they should not get this benefit of this. Like once you are given a ID, voter ID card, then you are a part of this country. You are a part of this responsible citizen of this country, and you have the right to claim your benefits, like the quota system, like the ST, SC, or OBC, and any other benefit. So it is a very important role to play by the ECI of India, and to conduct the monitoring of this electoral roll and giving the updated electoral roll of each and every part of the country. Why not only in Bihar? Why not only in this West Bengal? It should be also in northeast part of Manipur and other states, because it is very important. That's what we, the people of Manipur, have been demanding for the last these 2 and almost 2 year and almost 2.5 years. So they should listen, because if Manipur is a part of India and is under the Constitution of India, that the ECI norms should be followed in Manipur. They should also be applied to Manipur. So it is a very important role that State Commission, Election Commission of State Commission of India, or State Commission, Electoral Roll Commission of State should also play a very vital role, and to differentiate between the Manipuri and those illegal immigrants who have already wrongly given a voter ID cards, those who have wrongly purchased this, identified themselves as Manipuri, but they are not indigenous, or they are not a part of citizen of this country, or of state of Manipur. So we should also look forward those officials who are corrupted. It is a very important factor. Those officials who are lost in this way of corruption, and bringing those illegal immigrants and making them these voter ID cards and Aadhaar cards. And one more very important thing is that, Amrita, that we should also reject those leaders who are trying to give bribes and to make those illegal immigrants and issue a voter ID cards, issue an Aadhaar cards, issue a driving license card, issue an this food for the what we call that food and safety cards or medical cards. So those leaders also should be given a very as per the law should be given a punishment, or they should leaders should not be allowed to contest in the election also.
Yes,
that will be a very better way for the Manipur, and look forward for the Manipur in making the ideas of Manipur together with the coexistence, with the peaceful and harmony living together. Until less then that if we don't differentiate that, there will be always a problem in Manipur. And those people, let's see example, it's already 2.5 almost year, we have never been to More. We have never been to this Kangpupi, we have never been to this Churchampur. But we don't know the situation, what there actually is going on. Yes, there may be a police station, there may be a DC, there may be a SDO, but actually with the connection of the man, of the capital of and to the different part of this state, we have disconnected. So what I mean to say that we need to reconnect it again. If we want to bring the idea, we need to reconnect it. We need to find it out. We need to do the business. We need to do the connection between village to village level. Otherwise, what happens here, Amrita, if we don't do this in right time, then Manipur is in big trouble. See, today's is an electronic world. So they may have already given the datas. Those illegal immigrants, they may already put into the datas, into the electoral system.
Right.
And they may already fix it before we conduct and survey it. So it is very high time that the official, those who are in the capital of Manipur, those who are in the concerned department, those who are the head of the department, those who are doing this, looking after all this, they should not simply sit in Imphal Valley only. Now it's time to wake up and go and see, particularly in practical way, to all the different parts of Manipur. Yes, if Meitei community is not allowed to go there, then please go with other communities who are able to go there. And they need to check it up. Otherwise, once the time lapses, then once we go for survey about all these illegal immigrants, or these databases, or that time we will have no time once they fix it. So it is a very high time there, Amrita. My personal request, and this we should do very quickly, or very high time together with other communities to find it out. Otherwise, see, in Bihar, you are saying about 20%. 20% of the population, see. But in how many will be in Manipur, we don't know. So it is a very high time. We go together. We have to do the job for moreover this.
Yes, indeed. I do agree
Yeah.
with Oja Bobo's point that, especially you mentioned, and I think rightfully so, that it is all about the electronic data. And we truly don't know if those 3 districts, if there have been, if the DC particular or people in the office, we truly do not know if there is law even prevailing in those 3 districts that, yes, it's very high, very likely that,
Yeah, one more thing, Amrita,
yes, people
that I
could
would
have
like
been
to
entered
mention
into
that
the system.
Yeah,
Yes,
what,
Oja.
one more thing that, see, each and every MP of different part of the state, they are speaking about this Operation Syindur. They are speaking about this Bihar, this electoral role. Why cannot they also speak for Manipur?
Yes, indeed.
So they should also speak up for Manipur. It does not mean that Manipur have only 2 MPs and the 2 MP will be always speaking for Manipur. Yes, if Manipur is part of India and other part of the state or MP also, they should also speak up for Manipur. Then only we can remember, yes, people are speaking up for Manipur. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Very good point, Oja. Yes, in the closing remarks of today's program, I'd like to raise this question to Oja Shantikumar, that since the chaos and the ruckus about the discussion of Operation Syindur and this whole voter list of the Bihar elections related issue has now been on the floor of the parliament today, since that have been put aside, do you think that after this, that the PR resolution in Manipur will now be discussed? We know that till now it has only been introduced in the Rajya Sabha and has not been tabled nor debated or discussed on that. So do you think that since those 2 big issues have been at least given some replies and responses from the defense minister, even that now the PR extension of Manipur will be discussed in the House, and that, as Oja Bobo also mentioned, that all of the MPs, especially from the opposition, be it from the ruling as well, will be ready to ask key questions, especially regarding the IDP resettlement, the free movement, etc. All of the issues that come into the whole Manipur crisis issue. What are your thoughts, Oja? Oja, you are muted. Can you unmute yourself?
In fact, Amrita, the imposition of PR president rule in Manipur is depriving people's right to live. It's not really friendly to the people of Manipur. But of course, I think after the hassle is over in the parliament, I think they will surely discuss and debate on the issue of imposing PR, extension of PR in Manipur, because one thing is the Business Advisory Committee has already allotted a time slot to discuss on the issue. And the other one is not only that, the other one is imposing PR is one of the reasons why our ex-CM Biren was forced to resign, resign from his post. So from that, we must know the main, what the government of India likes is to, of course, the imposition of PR, because in the PR, they have an Indian government hasn't achieved the full goal, hasn't reached the full destination for imposing PR, not yet. So for sure, PR will be imposed for another 6 months, starting from August 13 to February 13 next year, 2026. And for sure, so we can expect that to be discussed very soon, but we don't know it will be tomorrow or next day or when, but I think it will be taken up soon and will be discussed, and India government will impose PR in Manipur. And on the other side, trying to form a popular government in Manipur is kind of drama. So it won't happen. Now the time is too short, and if India government really like to have a popular government in Manipur, it could have been done already.
Right.
They got more time, months. But
Do you
now
think,
in this short,
yes, to ask a follow-up question, Oja Shantikumar, regarding when there is a discussion on the PR resolution extension, PR imposition extension, do you think that the opposition will raise the issue of dissolving this assembly altogether?
for sure.
Okay.
I think the
Okay.
opposition will surely bring up this topic, and they will ask the government to dissolve the assembly, Manipur assembly, so that new mandate can be, brought up. And this is what people also like. People don't like PR. People like, new mandate is much better than PR. So I think opposition they also want, and also people of Manipur also want to have this new mandate. So I think, of course, they need to propose, and they need to bring up that issue. So.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Oja Shantikumar. Okay, we have been discussing today regarding the ruling NDA alliance bending backwards in the parliament while stalling the discussion on key issues such as the discussion of Operation Syindur and the voter list with regards to the Bihar election. The parliament session has been adjourning since for the full week, and today finally they have let go and started to give some responses to key questions, although some of the questions still remain unanswered. So we have been discussing on that, and our speakers have been put forward that as far as the national security is concerned, some of the questions cannot be disclosed to the public, but definitely many others can definitely be disclosed, and it does raises the question why the NDA and the ruling have been stalling this debate. But coming back to the relevance back in home state, which is in Manipur, regarding the PR resolution, if in fact it is introduced and discussed and debated, will the MPs be able to raise these particular questions that have been plaguing the state, especially the resettlement, the proper resettlement of the IDPs with regards to their physical resettlement, their financial aid, and also a sort of an assistance to their livelihood. And also the other question is regarding the free movement of the two national highways. And more than that, and also a lot of the other issues, for example, the Sioux agreement, not just that, but there are many other issues. Will the MPs raise questions, and will the ruling be able to give answers on that? And also, ultimately, will this monsoon session be one of those where it just keeps on adjourning, or will it be a fruitful one? It remains to be seen, but we do hope that it is a productive session, and there is some particular semblance and roadmap with regards to the Manipur crisis as well. And on that note, we will end today's program. I would like to thank our three expert panelists, Oja and Satyajeet, Oja Dr. Naorem Bobo, and Oja Dr. Shantikumar, for joining us and giving us a productive program. Thank you all very much. And I would also like to thank our viewers for tuning in tonight. Keep watching Elite TV for more important updates. This is Chongtham Amrita signing off for tonight. Have a good night.